Welcome to an Age of Empires 4 casted game. In the color orange, representing the Chinese, you have Core. And in the color blue, representing the Delhi Sultanate, you got Corazon Sombrío, also known as Vortex. Very good players here. If you don't know them, they are like really good players. They're in like top 10. I believe Vortex is like second in the ladder now. Core very good ranking, so we should expect a really interesting match coming up from top strategists here in Age of Empires 4. So we got the Chinese against Delhi. Chinese, a civilization that can go many different ways. For those of you who don't know, that Chinese are very well known for having a very good economy. Once they scale really good. So as a Chinese, you want to play a little bit defensive maybe, and try to overscale your opponent with better economy, better siege units, and this is where this civilization shines. But in feudal age, they got a special unit there, Tugenu, which can be very scary in very big numbers. But as soon as they get to castle, they become less effective. Whereas Delhi, they have a very typical playstyle. Usually Delhi, because their upgrades are for free. You can see here, he already go for efficient productions, which will allow scholars to garrison in military buildings, and they will boost the production speed by 100%. This will help him to get all the upgrades really fast. And he also go for wheelbarrow, kind of like a very necessary upgrade, not only economic, but also it can save some life because the villagers just start running. So Delhi don't need much gold because all the upgrades they got are for free. The only penalty is that they are just, slower, much slower. It will depend on the number of scholars again this around this building here. So we will see how these players will play. Corazon Sombrío, I just call him Vortex. Vortex, typically they will go for the early sacred sites because their monks can just capture the sacred sites earlier in feudal age. So you got the Tower of Victory here, a landmark that will boost the attack speed of the infantry by 20%. So looks like he will go a little bit aggressive on feudal, right? But typically this is the landmark that you go with as the Delhi. Meanwhile, Core going for the Imperial Academy first, only one villager. He only needs one because, Chinese work really fast. It's very funny because I actually live in China and I can see how Chinese build stuff. And it's very interesting because usually these buildings are like a picture, like a frame that they don't move, and you see construction sites and it's like they never change. But here it's like they change a lot. And it's very interesting and also kind of rewarding, just like watching this, like having some progress here. And you can actually see the building finishing. I remember where I used to live in another area, it's like they built a bridge in 1 month with all the fancy lights and everything. So I feel like Age of Empires did a really accurate representation of the Chinese, this one-man army trying to go for the Imperial Academy. This will mean that he really don't need the defenses that early. Typically, they will go for the Barbican of the Sun, which is a defensive building that can help you to protect some resources. And looks like he will have a juicy spot here. You got the deer, you got the gold, you protect the wood line, second wood line. Very nice, very nice spot for the Barbican. I'm sure he's very happy about this spot. Like, you got gold, you got wood, you got deer. What else you can ask for? And by doing that, he will go for the Song Dynasty. Meanwhile, Vortex already going for a blacksmith here so he can get his upgrades. Going for the iron undermesh, very important upgrade. It's one of the most important because especially when you are in enemy base, you will get a lot of damage from the town center, and this upgrade will actually help you to survive a little bit longer. So typically you see like people go for the iron undermesh first as their first upgrade. There is a lot of value in that. And the first stable gets thrown in. Meanwhile, Core already in the Song Dynasty will be able to gather this deer peacefully. And he's able to shoot the deer. There's a pretty neat feature. Whenever you have a building, you can not shift click those, but you can just click on the barbican and then click on the deer, and they will shoot. Which is very nice. Like if the deer is already in the place you want, then you can just shoot it with a barbican. And Vortex will be able to spot this out. He knows these resources are already... He cannot harass, but I believe Vortex is just trying to not really harass, but to protect. Because you got the scholars, and the scholars want to capture the sacred site zone, which is this upgrade. Sanctity. So basically, they will be able to gather those sacred sites before. And we see the first of the Gazi Raiders. Indeed, he's not looking to harass the Chinese. A civilization that is very hard to dive into his base because of so many defenses. So he's just securing those sacred sites. Scholar already getting in perfect timing. Just about like 8 seconds to go. And the second scholar should be able to grab the other sacred site really soon. And also securing the sacred site with a wall. The good thing about the Delhi is that the military units can construct walls. That's a lot of advantage, because then you have your villagers to just work and you don't have to assign them to build any kind of wall. That's a really nice thing to have. First sacred site, it's being captured. There is no sign of Core nearby, so looks like he will be able to get this one. But we already have the first horseman coming. I wonder where they are. There you are. Oh, he's just gathering them here. Like, okay, let's you say, you know what, let's just go as a group. Together we are stronger. So he sees the 2 sacred sites. He cannot get those, so he will try to deny the third one. Now we have got some action going on. Actually, let's use the wolf. This little wolf always annoys. It's nice when you play against a Rus player because he needs to kill them. But when you're not, they always give you a false alarm. And Core actually deciding, you know what, I'm not going for the sacred site, I'm going directly to your base. And he knows, he knows because he's scouted this. Now he will be able to get some villagers here. But Vortex realizes he managed to move the villagers early. He may be able to get 1 kill. You go 1 kill, there you go. And the Gazi Raiders. Okay, we'll try to get another one. Nice, two kills for Core. He should be way more than satisfied with this. It's like, let's go, we did enough. But on the other side of the map, Vortex trying to harass here. It's gonna be a little bit hard. The Barbican has a lot of range, so it's gonna be very hard for him. Sacred Victory approaching. Typically, they don't expect to win by Sacred Victory, but that can happen. You don't want to forget the Sacred Victory because, you know, you can lose the game by just focusing on other things and you forget to capture those sacred sites. It looks like Core says, not gonna happen. I'm just gonna burn this. and there are no units nearby. And we see the first Chuganu on the field. Chuganu, one of my favorite units in the feudal age, very strong. According to my wife, which is Chinese, Chuganu, the full name is Zhuge Lian Nu, which is the last name of the. I think it was a politician or someone related to military with that name who created that weapon. So it's very popular here in China. So we got horseman here. Spearman should be able to deal with this, but looks like no more spearman left. Chuganu will be able to deal with these range units. So far, no plus range attack yet. It's coming up soon. He needs that 1+ armor. It's gonna get triple the damage here with the Chuganu because they fire up 3 times. Meanwhile, Core continue to harass on the top, but looks like Vortex will be able to deal with this. He says, you know what, everyone fights villagers, spearman, no one works. Just keep fighting, and looks like it worked out for him. But looks like he will be able to get the sacred site. Gassy Riders join the field. Chuganus still not a big number. We got 10 Chuganus. They are very good in big numbers, but not so good in smaller numbers. His core retreats. He has a safe spot here in the Barbican. Vortex trying to secure the sacred site no matter what. Looks like he gave up on this one. He said, you know what, this is too far. I already have too many things going on here, and he may not have the military to protect all of them, especially at these stages of the game. And you can see Core already sitting in 51 villagers against 36. The reason is Chinese, when they achieve Song Dynasty, which is when they create 2 landmarks instead of 1, they will produce villagers in 50 seconds instead of 20. So in the long run, Core should be able to have a huge lead on the number of villagers. And now the Gassy Riders are starting to get really big numbers. There are not many spearmen here to deal with them, but of course Core doesn't want to get any damage. I'm sure he can deal with them, but just, you know what, better just keep running. Meanwhile, Core do a counter attack here in his base, managed to get some villager kills. And the Gassy Riders trying to surround the base. He will be able to spot this gold bank. He does see it. He will go for the villagers. He surrounds them. And he does get some villager kills. He need to make sure he don't lose those Gassy Riders. They are very expensive on foot. Meanwhile, Sacred Victory is approaching again. He decides to go for the other sacred site. The scholars is like alone, praying that no one spots him out. And now military numbers are starting to grow for Vortex. 53 military against 26. And now he's going for the base. Like, says, you know what? Let's do this in feudal age. I don't need to go castle. I already have enough units to do some damage. And he will be able to go castle really soon. We're almost there. It looks like Core. He got so much gold here. I wonder why. Is he trying to go castle first? Meanwhile, Vortex trying to find another site. Villager is going to build a wall, but looks like Vortex, he didn't spot this out. He didn't spot the villager. Looks like the villager will live another day. And there we go, aging up for both of the players. Astronomical clock tower for core, and compound of the defender for Vortex. Both players aging up in a very similar time. Vortex go Castle Age, core goes Castle Age, and with that the new Castle Age upgrades start. Especially this one, Village Fortresses, where they convert a keep into a town center. It's a really cool upgrade, and that's just the reason why Delhi wants to go to Castle Age, so that they can scale their production. Harassment going on here. Meanwhile, Sacred Victory is approaching. Still 8 minutes left, should be plenty of time to deal with this. And we got the first Lancers on the map. These units are really strong. 2 Nest of Bees going out. First Nest of Bees, it's out. Nest of Bees should be able to deal with a lot of infantry here, especially these units here. They are very weak against the Nest of Bees, so a couple of them should do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, let's check out Vortex base. He got 3 stables. 3 stables. Yeah, that's one barracks. Looks like he's heavy on he wants mobility. And you see the Lancers going out for Vortex soon. Barbican trying to defend this area. I'm telling you, this Barbican has achieved so much. Like, Wololo happening here. Trying to contest a relic he will be able to get. He got those Lancers. That always feels good when a Wololo works. That hurts. That hurts. I mean, it could be worse, but now he has Chinese Lancers. That's the cool thing about the Wololo, is that they convert the units, but they still talk to that language originally where they're from. Now we got the Barbican of the Sun being attacked. Looks like this will go down, unless the Nest of Bees will be able to be the hero of the day. That's a lot of Lancers here. We were talking about 11 Lancers. Crossbows going out for core. And now the base is being attacked. Let's see how core reacts to this. We have to have a really good fight here. Nest of Bees shooting targets. He gets some nice shots here. Spearman tried to go to defend the Nest of Bees. You cannot lose the Nest of Bees. If you lose the Nest of Bees, you get all the leverage you can. Villagers going to protect the Nest of Bees. You know, you need to repair the Nest of Bees. And the Nest of Bees are able to deal with the infantry. But the Lancers are just too many. So they will be able to deal with the military unit. And core taps out, says GG, and the game it's over. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this game, give me a like, and I will see you in the next one.